On the show today, my big annual match with my frenemy happened, but did I win?
And also the difference between clubs that are run by members and clubs that are run for profit, and also the return of email corner.
Hello, gather round, golfing buddies, because once more, Golfers Ruining My Life is here with you in audio form and also video form. And if you are a fan of seeing poor camera setups, then I recommend going to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/@golfersruiningmylife, and you will see the last episode, which we visualize on YouTube, and you'll only see about a third of my forehead. And I cannot recommend it enough. If you want a really damn good laugh, it's like someone has just taken the top off an egg and they're about to dip a soldier in it.
I'm really glad we're referencing this because Tom Price, in a lot of ways, is very computer literate, and I appreciate that. It sounds like I'm talking about a granddad here, but in a lot of ways, Price teaches me a lot of things with my Mac that I don't know how to do. We get a lot of errors because I don't know if you know this, but this show is just produced by me and him. Like all the technology stuff, like the filming, the lights, the sound stuff, it's just me and him with wires and stuff. A lot of the time it goes wrong and Price helps me. Then sometimes I have to help him. And I often go, just is the shot right? Is your shot right? And he's like, yeah, it's absolutely fine. It's fine. And at the end of an episode, he went, oh, it looks a bit weird. And I was like, okay, fine. And then I looked at it on how it went on YouTube, and you'd lost 50% of your forehead. It looked like you were filming with your granddad who doesn't really know. Do you know when you do like a Christmas message to your granddad on FaceTime?
Yeah, or the people who famously go around on huge world tours and they take every single photograph with the camera pointing towards them. To be clear as well, I don't know right now if it's okay.
Who knows?
I need to get one of those gadgets so I can see what the shot is. But anyway, fingers crossed you can see my beautiful forehead and what's left of my hair. Now, listen, I want to apologise for that. I also want to kick off by saying, Tom, I did it. I went and I played my mate George. And this is now our fourth annual meetup. He's my oldest friend, George. I've known him since I was minutes old, practically. And every year he squirms his way through. And I did it. And it was good.
Wow.
There was good golf being played. We played with no handicaps. He's off, I think, 9. I'm off 7. And he agreed that we shouldn't, because he's playing well and I'm playing badly at the moment, so we didn't bother with handicaps. We agreed we'd do Sunningdale, which I think is the purest form of match play. If you've got someone who's within 5 shots of you handicap-wise, do Sunningdale. You play off scratch, and then as soon as someone's 2 over, you give them a shot.
Okay, brilliant. Fine,
easy,
right, yeah. Keeps it competitive, real nice.
It's just real good stuff. And then George and I proceeded to par just about everything. I think we were 3 over through the front 9.
Wow.
And we were all square. Yeah, it was seriously good. And then I inched ahead, and he got a birdie, went back to all square. Then I got a par where he got bogey, and I went to 1 up, and then I won 1 up, whatever the score would be. I was Dormy 1, so I won 1 up.
At your place?
It was seriously good. No, we played at Royal Ascot Golf Course, which is exactly halfway between us, which is a beautiful track.
Sounds fancy. Is it fancy?
I think it is quite. They're very friendly. I wouldn't say fancy in an austere and unwelcoming way. They're really, really nice there. I'd heartily recommend it. And if you go there, mention the podcast, of course. They're really, really nice. Real proper members club. You go into the bar and it's just, lots of people in their 70s. But that's because I went on a random, Tuesday morning. That's fair enough. And gotta say, very impressive boards. Do you know what they've done with their boards there? Because it's such an old course. They've taken their boards and they've, like if you scan a document, you can just zoom out and make it tiny. They've almost done that with hundreds of years worth of boards, and then they've made them into wood and put them on the wall. So they've just made everything a bit smaller, and so they can fit more history and more legacy on their walls. And I appreciated that.
That's really cool. I like that. I've got to be honest, right? I do like traditional wooden golf boards. I'm all for modern.
Yeah.
I'm all for modern. I'm all for modern clubhouses and all this sort of stuff. But when we move into the world of the glass, I don't want it on the glass. I want it etched by hand into the history of the wood. So, because I love at my place when you go into the old bar and there's like all the previous captains, and there's
gorgeous.
You look at one board and it's totally full and it goes back to like 1890 something. I'm like, yes, I like this.
Yes, that board is older than America or Australia.
Yes.
I love it when they go miles back. The other thing as well, which I thought was interesting, and I brought this up the other day. I said no good golf course starts with a par
Oh,
3.
yeah, that went down
And as
well.
I stood on the first at Royal Ascot, and got my 6-iron out for the par 3, I thought, this rings a bell. And it is a really good golf course. And it's quite a long par 3, and then a really nice big dogleg right par 5 for the second. So it's a really nice golf course, and it's in a good spot as well. If you live in the south of the UK, in the southeast, and you want to meet up with people who are sort of disparate and spread out, then I could recommend it, because I think that's quite a good thing to have. A venue which is equidistant for everyone is often quite a difficult, tricky logistical thing to achieve, and George and I have done.
I think that's why the Belfry does so well. That's why the Brabazon does so well, because it's slap bang in the middle of the country.
So true.
You can bring everyone together for it. That's one of those ones as well. That is, I've heard it's not quite as good as it might have once been. The Brabazon.
How dare you?
I don't want to, I've never played it.
What are you actually saying there? I couldn't actually hear that. That was just a noise. Which one? The Belfry?
Yeah, the Brabazon at the Belfry. I've heard isn't.
Is that one of the courses?
Yeah.
Right,
The Brabazon's the one. So when you go to the Belfry and you want to play the Ryder Cup course, it's the Brabazon that you want to go on. So there's a few.
I heard the same about Celtic. There's a similar thing about Celtic.
I think this happens with the old Ryder Cup courses. Is they put a load of money in and then they don't spend any money for the next 30 years and try and recoup all the money that they spent to get the course. But do you know what? This actually brings up a really interesting point that I wanted to talk about on the show. Is I've never really understood the nuances and the ins and outs and the differences between a members-owned golf club and a for-profit company-ran golf club. And I had it explained to me the other day, and I think it's a really interesting distinction, and I think it leads to a topic that I want to talk about on the show, right? So, speaking to someone the other day, you've got some golf courses which are companies, right? And they're there to make money, and they get a lot of corporate golf on them, and X, Y, and Z, right? And
members, and if there are members there, their members are a bit of a pain in the ass.
Yeah. And I think if you are a member there, you can sometimes get quite frustrated because you find yourself in a position where you go, what, another bloody, HSBC's golf days here? Like, what the hell? So you've got that. Yeah. And then you've got the other side, which is members-ran, members-owned golf clubs. So I was talking to someone the other day, and it's really interesting. So the members golf club stuff, where you own the course, until recently, unless that course was a limited company, right, you personally, as a member, would be liable for the debts of that golf club. Yeah.
What? Hang on, if it's run as a company or if it's run as a members owned?
If it's run as like a members owned thing. So if you're a member of a golf club, you are a shareholder essentially within that golf club. And if there was a big debt or a big liability or something,
but equally, that goes both ways, because if there's a big profit, which famously happened, I think, in Wimbledon, where they were selling off a golf course to make space for the tennis tournament.
Yes, I know all about this.
And didn't the members get, like Ant and Denk were members, and didn't the members get obscenely huge payouts because they shared in the profit?
Yes.
But it's sad.
So when I used to live in South London, I used to play on Royal Wimbledon quite a lot. And it wasn't Royal Wimbledon, it's one of the courses next to Royal Wimbledon. They sold off a load of land. Maybe it was for the tennis, I don't know why, but they sold off a load of land. I think essentially got rid of the golf course, potentially. But what?
Yes, they did.
But they did this thing where they were like, it was a mad amount of money. I think it was like £100 and something thousand to each member because they sold off the course. Ugh. But they had to. It was very fascinating because there was a moment when the rumours were going out that this could happen. So people started joining.
All the members
People were joining. Then there was a moment. There was an AGM, I think, where they sat down and went, "We're going to have to draw a line somewhere and go. Everyone after this point gets the money. Everyone before doesn't."
Do you even play golf, Alan? Nope, never played in my life. Just thought I'd join the club just to hang out with you guys. I love
it
here. So that does raise the question, because obviously I play. We both play in the southeast of the UK, and land is at a premium here. Certainly where I play, that's in zone 3 of London, right? And every now and again this conversation bubbles up. Wow, imagine if they sold this golf course. Imagine if they put houses. It's an enormous tract of land. It would be worth multiple millions.
Easy.
Like multiple hundreds of millions of pounds. And the question then rises, well, look, what's your number? How much would you accept if they were saying that we're going to put houses here, or we're going to turn it into a park? You're going to get $100,000 each. Ooh.
God, I'm out. Yep. Cheers. Thanks for coming. That's it. Sell it.
It really is a tricky one. And then they have a vote, presumably, and then there has to be a sad moment because you're voting for your own...
To get rid of the
for your club's demise. And all those boards which we've just been talking about, which go back hundreds of years, there's going to be a line. It's a sad thing. There's a line at the bottom of that says no more. I think I think there's no amount of money. There's no amount of money there is. It's about 100 grand.
Yeah. There it really is. But the reason that I wanted to bring this up, because I've never really understood the difference between like members owned and ran, and then a lot of them now are in companies, so the members aren't liable anymore. So it's still members owned, but they're within limited companies. So blah, blah, blah. But
limited liability.
But the interesting one, this is the interesting one, is golf clubs that are companies, right?
Yeah.
That do something like, there's certain courses that I know that have done this, where they go, listen, we're launching a new company, we're doing something new here. If you want to be a lifetime member, you give us something like X amount of money, and that's it, you're in for life. And I was talking to some golfers who have been lifetime members of courses for 2 years until the company got bought, and then they went, that's now gone. You're not a lifetime member anymore.
No. Stop it. You can't do that. So they changed them. So these guys, because I know an example of course, we're probably thinking of the same place, where it was something like, it wasn't insane. It was like 20 grand, which obviously is a crazy amount of money, but it was something like 20 grand to be a lifetime member of a top course, a new top course. You can probably do the maths and work out the one we're talking about. We ain't naming it. And I don't know if that did happen there, but 20 grand to be a lifetime member, I'd be like, darling, we're raiding the kids' ISAs. This is a good investment.
Yes. So it happens all the time with these courses where something new pops up and they offer a lifetime membership thing. And it's not the course me and you were thinking of. There is another one that I know of literally this happened to.
God,
but imagine you put your money in and went, this is it. I'm set for life, darling.
Yeah.
I don't need to play golf membership
I've got a
ever
locker.
again. And then, the new management came in and went, all those lifetime members, that's now null and void.
I am surprised that, and I think, golf is in rude health. I mean, look at idiots like us are managing to put a podcast together off the back of its popularity. It's insane. But I wonder if, because there was a time, just before COVID, there were a lot of clubs closing, and golf was not in this place, right? Pre-Rick and the YouTube charge and everything, which has just been incredible for our sport. But I wonder if there was ever an idea. I wonder if clubs do this where they say, look, 10 years, do you want to give us 6 grand? I don't know, whatever your annual subs are. Over 10 years, we'll take 10%, 20% off. Like, I'd do that. I would do that. Who knows what life's going to throw at you, but I would do that.
There must be... It just changes, doesn't it? When you go from being members ran and what that means, and you go to for profit... It's just totally a different thing. And you can feel it at my place, like the fact it's members ran. The members have a lot of power, and what the members want sort of goes. And there's other clubs that I know of there's just a different vibe to them, and a lot of them are obviously like attached to big hotels and all this sort of stuff. And it's a very different style of golf.
I just want to say, and this is this feels like an obvious thing to say, but I feel like we are a members-run podcast.
God, yes.
Brought to you by our friends at Golf Bidder.
Yeah, we are. If you guys want anything, you can tell us, and we will do it. And if Golf Bidder want us to, we definitely will do it. Or Ping. We're both. Oh God, we love our pals at Ping. We are both members run, but also very much available for commercial opportunities. Yes.
And if you have got any sort of, we've never done this. And do you know what? I listen to the Anfield Rap a lot, which is a brilliant podcast on the same label as us. And they often say it on the podcast. It's worth saying, Tom, if any of you lot have got businesses and you want to do any publicity, drop us an email. Like, we are open for business. We're open to chat about stuff. The Toms, like, even also, like, if you're doing golf days and you want us to come down and do an appearance stuff, like, we are into this SHIT. The Toms at golfisruiningmylife.co.uk. You never know, Tom. It's worth
100%. We are both fundamentally just golf nerds. For sale.
Sorry, golf nerds.
And that as well. So still to come on the podcast today, Golf Bidder's email corner is back round. We've got inundated. I also want to reference. We mentioned this on the show, but what really took off is obviously the old pals at TikTok got on it, but we mentioned the idea of being a young club captain, right? And
oh God, so many messages. I knew this would happen.
I was convinced that no one under the age of 40 had it, really. And it turns out loads of people under the age of 40 are club captains around the country.
I think a lot of it helps if you have a someone I was talking to my mate Malcolm about this, and he was saying that there was a young captain at his place.
It sounds like a
there was a young captain at his place who could never hit the ball off his face. He tried and he tried.
Here we go. Keep going. Keep going.
I can't do it. He tried and he tried, and no matter what he tried, he could never get the ball into that space.
Okay, let's work on it.
Awful, bad stuff. But he, there was a young captain there because he had independent wealth. I think.
Go again. Back round. Second stanza. Sorry.
There was a young captain at his course who told the greenkeeper to get rid of the course. And independent wealth is what I'm trying to say. I think a lot of the people who do it have got money because if you have a normal job, you can't do it. It's such a big demand.
My favourite on the TikTok as well.
Let's
not make him do more off the cuff rhymes. My favourite on the TikTok was we said, "Oh, are there any young club captains?" And some kid wrote, "I'm a club captain at 12," and someone put, "Not junior club captains," underneath. just this 12-year-old boy on TikTok watching our videos and enjoying it. And this old man being, "You don't count." The internet's horrible.
Yeah, not you. Get back to school. Right, I'm sweating because I've been doing live rhymes on the show. We've got to. That's a very low point. Let's have a moment where I can go and de-sweat, and then we'll be back with Email Corner. Yes. Don't go anywhere. Hello, welcome back. This is Golf is Ruining My Life. So, Email Corner with our pals at Golf Bidder. Our favourite email is going to win £50 to spend at Golf Bidder. Hello to Tom Henthorne. Hi, Tom. I'm the current vice captain of Fairfield. He's 32 years old, which means he's going to be a captain next year if you're vice. Steve says, I was a captain at 27 at a place in Cumbria, Maryport Golf Club, when I was 27. So, look, it does happen. We've established that. Thank you very much for all your messages. I'm genuinely shocked by that. I just thought captains were 50 plus.
So was I. Right, let's do some emails. Thank you to this person who made it very clear at the top of the email they wanted it to be anonymous, which is always very helpful because it means we don't have to edit this thing. Thank you. He said, Hi, Toms. First off, love the pod. It's the perfect blend of golf and pure chaos. I don't know what you mean, pure chaos.
Whoa. all of the, yeah, exactly. All of the rhyming that we just did was planned. We had a big meeting yesterday to work out what to do.
Now, please, for the love of God, keep this anonymous. It's that bad.
You know it's going to be a good one.
Always going to be a good... Yeah, it's always going to be a good one. I recently joined a fairly posh golf club. The sort of place where the car park has more Range Rovers than a showroom, and the members call each other things like bunners and chops.
Oh, God, it sounds awful.
Absolutely posh shows.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm out for a quiet solo round midweek. Get to the 11th, par 4. Tucked away on a corner of the course, not a soul around. I've been holding it up, I'm going to change this, a wee since the 6th tee, and it's all getting serious. No toilets nearby. So I head just off the back of the green behind a little maintenance hut, drop into stealth mode, and let it fly.
I don't have a problem with that. Also, there's nothing better than a jungle wee. That's great fun. Great stuff.
Yeah. I think we'll come to, because I've read this email, I know what's going to come in this email. But I think doing a little wee on the golf course, I thought that's all sort of part and parcel of the fun. I thought everyone was doing it. Are we not all doing it?
Most of the foliage at our golf course has been given the nutrients of the members' urine. Like, we've weed everywhere on our course. It's fine.
Anyway, midstream, eyes closed, having a moment, I hear the unmistakable sound of someone politely clearing their throat.
No.
I turn my head. Still fully engaged in the act, and standing there like she's just walked into a crime scene is the lady captain.
Oh, God.
Immaculate blazer, pearl earrings, and a Labrador. Wow, it is absolute posh.
Oh, my God, it sounds like an episode of Midsummer Murders.
Yeah, and and her Labrador, who thinks I'm some sort of territorial animal. She just goes, there are facilities in the clubhouse, you know. Ooh. And because my brain completely abandoned me, I blurted out, I'm just checking the grain of the rough. No smile, no reaction.
Love it.
Just 10 seconds of silent, soul-destroying eye contact. I genuinely hate that whole since. Anyway, love the pod. Keep up the work. Cheers.
I mean...
Very good.
Listen, I wasn't there, to be clear. Anonymous emailer, who's definitely not me, to be clear. But I don't think that's that bad. If you're hidden away, if you're tucked away... do you know what? There's two things I do every time I go for a wee on the course. I always say to whoever I'm playing with, just going to use the facilities, which is an absolute banger.
Yeah, it works.
It's a 6 out of 10, I think. And then I always think to myself, I have half a thought, which is if anyone ever tells me off for this, I'll say I'm on medication and I've got to wee, which is obviously a lie. But I always have half a little. Do you ever have that half a little argument ready just in case? And it's completely absurd because there's nothing. Unless you're. So like, for example, at our place the other day, I went for a wee, and a point of the course that abuts a dog walking bit of woods, right? And I was about to have a wee and about to get, the old tallywhackle out, and
the old John Thomas.
There you are. And I realised that I was pointing directly at a path where people could be walking past, and I was like, no, abandon ship. There's no way. I cannot do this. Because rightly, that's then a very different kettle of fish.
You're about to cause a crime.
You're about to cause a crime. But I would say if you're doing it in a place that is absolutely you're not going to be seen, then I don't think that's a problem. And I think that's, I like the idea that the lady captain patrols the course with her jacket and pearl earrings and dog. Did she then?
Yeah, with her Labrador.
Yeah, did she just look at the Labrador and say, sink 'em, and then he just pounced?
Remove.
Thank you.
Very good. It's a good email. Thank you. Tom's at golfersroomalife.co.uk.
Hello to Johnny.
Hey, Johnny.
Armitage. I recently discovered your pod. I can't believe it's only the second biggest golf podcast in the UK. I know, it's ridiculous. I write to you from the emotional bunker I now call home after a solo round that started as a peaceful evening stroll and somehow ended in full-scale political warfare with the club committee. Just rubbing my hands.
Strap yourself in, lads. This is going to be a good one.
Grab me the sweet and salty popcorn.
Here we go.
It began innocently. My playing partner bailed, so I thought perfect time to channel my inner Faldo and play by myself. No pressure, just me, my clubs. If I had a motor caddy, I too would have put it on too and strolled like a dandy, promenading in Bridgerton or whatever it is that my wife watches. Oh, that's really
yes,
lazy.
I do recommend it.
Lazy gender stereotyping, saying, just the women watch Bridgerton. My wife watches it. I've never watched it myself. At the first tee, I clocked the 4-ball ahead. Despite what the tee sheet said, these fine gentlemen were teeing it up from the medals, clearly playing a match. You know the type. Matching club polos, 3 practice swings per shot, the smug air of men who think pace of play is something that applies to other people. This is poetry, Tom Green.
Yes.
It's just...
Yeah. These guys... have nowhere else to be.
Yeah. We don't play slow. Yes, you do. I accepted my fate. I'm not going to be getting waved through. This was a sacred ritual. I was merely a solo peasant. Still, I kept the tempo relaxed, whispering that golden mantra, carefree, not careless. I was vibing. Then came the 7th, short par 3, stroke index 18, a formality on paper. In reality, a 2-tier green sculpted by Satan during a mood swing. I was clearing it when I spotted a new 4-ball on the tee behind me. Leading the charge, a man in a maroon lamb's wool V-neck that screamed, "I've chaired many a disciplinary hearing." He stood there, hands on hips, foot tapping with the passive aggression of someone who once lost a midweek Stableford on a countback and never forgot it. Onward. The 9th, a proper dogleg over a ravine. The match ahead were faffing, so I waited. Rather than hitting my usual driver into the practice area, I took a conservative 5-wood, fairway in reg, green in reg, 2-putt par. Quite nice when people are in front of you.
Lovely, well done.
Makes you get a little bit less Hollywood, a little bit less ambition. I turned to walk off the green. Whack. Golf balls, landing at my feet. No shout, no warning, just a tight-list airstrike.
Okay.
I go on to the 10th. Basically,
So at this stage, let me just make sure I'm across this. At this stage, the people behind them think there's just a 1-ball playing really slow.
They're just hammering it.
They're just like, come on.
I go on to the 10th. I miss the green. I'm a grown-up. I park my bag front left visibly because I'm aware I'm still in the crosshairs. Then, zing, a ball flies past my head by a foot. No 4.
Wow.
And the bag is there now. At this point, I'm wondering if someone's got a life insurance policy out on me. I get to the 11th tee and find the offending ball sitting there like it owns the place. Its owner sidles up with a breezy, "Oh, I didn't see your bag," as if we're talking about forgetting to return a library book, not almost taking my face off with a 6 sign. I hold it together, just.
Yeah.
I retake my stance as I'm finally being waved through. So he's now being waved through by the match in front. Mid-backswing, guess who pipes up again? Mid-backswing, guess who pipes up again? Mr. Lambswool.
Right.
I snap, I pick up my ball, I walk to the 12th to play through. I get to the group ahead and deliver a heartfelt monologue about the moral fibre, or lack thereof, of the group behind who've been peppering me with balls. There was language. Parentage was questioned. I may have used the word which is a synonym of onanists. Love it. That's when I was informed, with the strained politeness one reserves for toddlers at weddings, that I had just delivered said monologue to the club captain and a committee member. Mr. Jumper, committee 2. And of course... he was in a match. So, dear Toms, A, was I in the wrong? B, are my days numbered? C, my balls are gristle, not crystal. How do I avoid situations like this in the future? Warmest regards. That is from Johnny. This is a really interesting one, Johnny. I honestly don't think you've done anything wrong. And I think if you're getting balls hit at you, I would have, you know me, Tom Green, I don't like confrontation, but I'd have said something.
Yeah. I think that's absolutely fine. And also, just because they're all on the committee together doesn't mean that the club captain you're speaking to doesn't also think that guy's a bit of a silly billy.
100%.
Do you know what I mean?
100%. Being on the committee together, in fact, maybe has exposed them to realising what a silly billy this person is. I don't like the cut of...
Yeah.
Do you know what I would do, Johnny, if you wanted to escalate it? And maybe that's not the best thing to do. But you can make a complaint.
Yeah, you can say something.
Yeah, because just because it's on the committee, who cares? You can make a complaint. I really see this a lot in our emails. People are intimidated by golf club culture, and it's not. Don't let it happen. Don't let it happen. Make the complaints.
No.
And remember, you are a customer. They want you to be there, especially if you're younger. They want young, new people at those golf courses. Don't let that stuff intimidate you.
Right, next email from a man called James. Hello, James. Hi, Toms. Thought I'd get in touch after listening to your latest episode. I've been really enjoying listening to TG's new mentality around handicaps and carding every round. Yes, good. Thank you. Yeah. I found it both affirming and encouraging, so thank you. No, James. Thank you.
All right, thanks, everyone.
Having played golf for just over 2 years and a couple of months ago, I got very frustrated and said to quite a few people, if I had expended this amount of financial, physical, mental, and emotional energy or anything else for 2 years, I'd expect to be close to professional level, and my handicap is 20.1. How true is that, by the way? Yeah. I've had that quite a lot recently. I'm like, I'm playing more golf than I've ever done in my whole life, and I'm getting worse.
If you put that time into writing a book, you'd be a millionaire top 10 bestseller by now.
Yep. 100%. However, coupled with TG's new Zen preaching, I don't know if it's Zen. I think I just want loads of things on my G. But anyway, I recently had an on-course 9-hole lesson, very good, with my local pro. I strongly recommend this to anyone. Together, they have helped reinvigorate my love for the game, which is always nice. I asked him before the round not to give me swing tips, but just to play alongside, watch, ask me questions about what I was doing, and just generally help me reflect on what I was doing and how I can reframe what I'm doing, which is interesting, isn't it? Yeah. It's quite a nice thing to do, I think. Just watch my game and we'll do the feedback at the end. Here are the 3 best takeaways he gave me, which I thought might help other people at my stage of their golfing addiction. So a couple of years in, playoff 20. Yeah. By the way, side point, Tom, I played with a guy yesterday who's a big fan of this show, who has played golf for 2 years, who was 3 under after 5. How annoying is that?
That's just disgusting. That shouldn't be allowed. 2
years.
Don't ever play with him again.
You shouldn't be allowed to be that good. No. Number 1, don't use a line when putting. Concentrate on pace control. Drill 5 balls, put them from one side of the practice green to the other, trying to stop close to the edge. That's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah, that's there's a bit of that in Rotella. When you're practicing distance, don't use a hole. Just pick a random point on the green and just try and get it. Yeah, edge of the green works perfectly. That's a really good shout. I love that.
Yeah, and also I think I can't remember who said this, but when you miss a putt, how often is the line completely wrong? Very rarely is the line the big issue. Yeah. More often than not, it's the pace. So try and work on pace. Love that. Number 2, set different targets to just score better, e.g. trying not to short side yourself on approach shots all round, or trying to hit fairway and reg on 10 or more holes regardless of distance within reason. Nice, and more than just the score. Interesting. Yeah. Number 3, Tom, we spoke about this the other day. So number 3, split 18 into 6 lots of 3 holes.
Love that.
Try and get 15 or less per 3 holes, and then score your round out of the 6. That's very good. Yeah. And number 4, it's okay to bump and run from inside 30 yards even when you're 37 years old. Disclaimer, I will never be doing this. I don't agree with the pro. I love chipping and flopping everything, and I'm really good at it. If it loses me a couple of strokes around, at least I've got my pride intact.
Well, that's a really interesting point. Who cares if it loses me strokes? I've got my pride. There's an episode in that.
Yeah, that's such a interesting mentality, isn't it? Because what does that? Can we stop on that for a minute?
Yeah.
Because I think there's something really interesting in that, because I'm actually the complete opposite of that mentality at the moment, and it's really, really helping my golf.
Yeah.
So there's a par 4, there's a par 3 at my place, which plays to the back 200 yards, right?
Yeah.
when you play with the older guys, they're all taking woods, and some of them are taking drivers on this thing, and it's fine. You play your golf game, right? Yeah. And when you play with the younger guys, no one ever takes anything other than like a 7-iron, right? Yeah. Guys, it's a 7-wood for me.
Yeah.
And when I play a 7-wood on it, I can drop it on there, and I'm never short. There's bunkers all around the front. I'd rather be long. There's nothing bad long, so I take a 7-wood at it, and it's really helped my scoring on that hole.
Yeah.
It's hurt my ego, but who cares?
I mean, I agree with you, but I'm holding different ideas in my head at the same time, because then I find myself standing on a tee thinking, I don't need to hit a driver here. I don't need to hit a driver, and my driver is problematic at the moment, and I'm still going to do it. And I do it. I make bad choices. I did it yesterday in my match with George, and I hit my driver straight and lost the ball, and then lost that hole. Like, I just do it again and again. So it's pride over scoring, and until I can overcome that, I'm going to keep doing it.
But what I don't understand that I don't understand that at all when it comes to driver.
The excitement of how, if it goes well, the sense of, oh my god, it's the greed, it's the Hollywood shot, it's the, oh my god, if I hit my perfect driver here, I'm going to be greenside and have a chip chip up and down for birdie. Oh my god, I have to go for it, and then I just eliminate any sense of but you slice it a lot at the moment, and there's like a massive farm on your right, and then bang, sliced into the woods, gone. So look, it's an ongoing debate, but also we're running out of time, Tom Green, and we need to choose the winner. Is that it from that email from James, by the way?
That was it. That's all. That's him all done. So we can either crown one of the ones we've already had, or we can move on to one final email. Tom, you're sort of the head of email corner. So
I'm gonna crown. I think we will just use the one that we haven't read out. We'll play that next week. For me, in that case, I reckon it's got to be Joe for the playing through stuff. Just lovely writing. A green designed by Satan on a bad day. Lovely stuff. And it's an interesting topic.
Very nice.
This whole, you feel like you're being harassed by members of the committee on the course. You still need to have a bit of, resilience and determination. Even if you're a visitor, even if you're on Golf Now, don't accept it. Do not accept it. I'm really big on that. So anyway, look, well done to Joe Franklin. You have won £50 to spend at Golf Bidder. You are today's Golf Bidder Corner winner. Maybe you could spend it on legal fees.
Yeah, indeed. And well done to everyone getting through Open qualifying as well a couple of days ago. Our condolences go out to Mr. Peter Finch, not quite managing it, although I think this is the first time he's ever got to Open qualifying finals. So that's such an achievement. And I've been thinking a lot about Peter Finch over the last few days, Tom, as I often do. Yeah. And the great thing about golf, isn't it, is we all have our own mountains to climb, or whatever those mountains are, right? And each achievement should be taken on the fact that you've never done that thing, no matter what it is, right? Yeah. So whether it's just playing in your first comp or breaking 100, those are great mountains. So I think he'll feel deflated that he's not made the Open, but he made final qualifying for the first time ever. That's huge.
He finished, I think, mid-table. He shot 275s. It's unreal what he's done. And what I think we can take from watching his stuff, and I urge you to go and watch his stuff on YouTube, I think he's brilliant, is the work ethic. That guy has worked so hard, and that shows you, and he's come close to qualifying for the Open, and I think he'll do it. I really think he'll do it next year. But my God, he has worked hard. You cannot get anywhere near that level unless you are working almost as hard as Tom Green is working on his golf at the moment. That's the level. And that does, again, we're now getting tangented here, but when you work on your game, you will improve. And you're working so hard at the moment, TG. I think that you will be, like, the benefits will come, but it's not instant. There's always a delay.
Yeah, God, yeah, exactly. I totally agree. I mean, mentality-wise, I'm a million times better than I ever have been. But this is for another day. Yeah. We need to finish. Thank you so much for listening. The Golf and Dream Live podcast will be back on Monday. Email corner, obviously, always open. Go and check our YouTube channel. The Renaissance videos are coming. They're the best ones yet as we take on the Scottish Open venue. The videos will land this Sunday and Wednesday. They're coming this week, so they'll all be round the Scottish Open, which is obviously live on Sky Sports.
Oh, the Genesis Scottish Open is an absolute highlight, because it's the build-up to the Open, and the Renaissance is an amazing course, and we were lucky enough to play it. So if you are getting ready to watch the Genesis Scottish Open, make sure you head over to our YouTube and watch us play that course. Bye!